Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going on to a larger Lego set, mid-size. This is set 6270. This is the Forbidden Island, released in 1989, and this is part of the Pirates series, the Pirates collection. There's 164 pieces in here and there's 4 minifigures. As with most of the other videos, we'll have a quick flick through the manual just to show the quality, and sometimes people might be building a set and they don't have the manual and they just want to check. I'll then show you the minifigures, which I've already built this time round. I'll speed build everything and then I'll review it at the end. So let's crack on with the manual. As you can see, this one's had a bit of a rough life. It's pretty crinkly all over. There's a lot of kind of just tears along the edge, for it's probably been shoved in somewhere. If I show you the back as well, you can see. So it's got these like crinkles and stuff, but it is a complete manual. So you got all those crinkles. I don't know if it was staples originally or holes, or they've sort of put these hole punches in and then they've tried to file it. But yeah, there's no staples in the middle. So here's the manual. On the front we've got what we're going to build, of course. Inside we have the minifigures, the boat, and then the remainder of it you can see kind of just what's coming away there. The remainder of it we then just build up through the base. And of course we'll see these again. I'll try as best as possible as I'm building it. I'll try and keep it in shot, but because this is such a large build, it might not be in shot for each page when I'm building it. So as you can see all the way up there, number 13, build the tree, and then so 14 kind of stages to get to completion. So we might as well crack on then with the minifigures. I'll open it up because I can right now. So you've got 4 minifigures. The first one is the Imperial Soldier here. It's your standard one with the red epaulets and his rucksack. The next one is Captain Redbeard. So it's important to make sure you have the lined red beard on this one, which this one has, and also make sure you've got the hook, because that's expensive, as his head is reasonably expensive as well. Here you go, and you've just got your standard pirate, and then another pirate here with the tricorn hat. One thing I forgot to point out was on this Imperial Soldier, it has a crack from his arm just down the front there. It's like a hairline crack, or almost like a deep scratch. Doesn't affect anything, doesn't go around to the rear. So that's the minifigures shown. I'm going to put those to one side and move on to the speed build, which is the boat onwards, and I'll kind of just comment every now and then. So let's get cracking. So that's our first stage. That's the minifigure in there with the 2 oars, the sword, and the small pirate's flag. Always make sure when you're buying sets like this that the clips are intact. They're often prone to breaking. So on to the next page. Now with this one here, I will also comment that I don't know if they're supposed to be like this, but on the base there are white dots here which correspond with where these go on the top down view. Now whether someone's just kind of dotted that with something in the past, which is quite helpful, I don't know, or whether it's there as standard. Also this where it kind of goes white to blue, I think because that goes all the way around, that's probably supposed to be there. So, and I don't know, I'm inclined to think they're supposed to be like that. And then the only other thing to mention on this one is there's that slight little nick to that stud there. Anyway, on we go. So that's the first part complete. Just putting, you've got the top down view, which is basically the same as that one, but you're just putting the minifigure in as well. In fact, I just need to put those 2 great pillars on. So that's complete up to this stage so far. Unusual that in this build it incorporates, well, I personally haven't done it before, where you put in the kind of palm leaves directly onto the blocks rather than onto the trees. You know, the kind of bits that look like that, which I'm used to. So anyway, that's complete there. Moving over to this stage, now no one who's built anything that like this, not Eldorado Fort, the other castles. Whenever you see a Technics pole and one of these, it's a trapdoor. So that section's complete, and as you can see, what you do with the trapdoor is you would pull this out, and then that allows the trapdoor to fall down straight into the jail, and then you can push that in to close the trapdoor up. So you'll have seen I just backtracked slightly there. There was an additional flat right angle to go in, and a larger right angle there to go on as well. Stage 6 complete. One thing you'll notice is they are slightly offset. These sit slightly forward than that. This one sits slightly further forward than that. Now, stage 7 has an error in the diagram, so this is physically impossible. So what you'll see is this pillar here, which is this, sits flush against here. So if I put this on here, this now sits here, which is flush with the building edge, and it has to, because in the later stages there's something that goes across there. Now, the reason the diagram is physically impossible is because if you count these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's actually only 3 studs, and if you remember, there's a third stud under there, so you'd have there's a 3 stud, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's sat on the 4th one, so it's impossible for it to have 4 studs and be sat on the 5th one. So there's an error in the manual when doing this build. Just going to highlight on this piece, there's a bit of a bend up on this one here. It won't affect the build once it's in, because it'll be kind of pressed down with the blocks that are on top of it. So that's stage 7 complete. Stage 8 will be adding some archways. And this is where I was highlighting earlier, it's physically impossible for those studs to be like that when this here sits flush across the 2 with the archway behind it. So that's that stage complete. As you can see, that section is held down, that bent section. So again, when you get other bits on, it's not going to impact the build. Moving on to stage 9, so it's just adding a few more bits of supporting items on. So in stage 10, it's building up this triangular double shape and then placing it on the top. Right, so I've got to say, I really enjoyed that stage. Putting the roof on, the stairs and the bridge really just suddenly made that come to life, which is great. And again, I know I've probably over highlighted it, but the fact that that section was bent on the inside, it's now all completely been flattened down. I guess if I probably leave it like this, it will probably make it even better over time anyway. So that's stage 10 complete. Yeah, like that is brilliant when it all just comes together like that. So now we're moving on to stage 11. So stage 11 complete. Time will tell whether or not that one's in the right place. I'm sure we'll find out in stage 12. I don't think I've missed anything else out yet. All looking good so far. So stage 12 is adding more of the mast and more of the palms in. I think safe to say we were correct on that one. Okay, so wasn't too much on there. It was just popping. I'd forgot to put a 3 black brick on there, but other than that, all looking good. 13 barrel on the top, and possibly a couple of bits. I think it's primarily just that on the sides. Okay, I think we're so far so good. A bit more light. Yes, I think we're doing okay here. Moving on to building a palm tree and just getting the can and the chest together. So with the chest, it's the one, there are two types of chest. One has slits in the back. This isn't that one. You're looking for a solid backed chest, and in this set it has two sets of the coins. These are one of my favorite items. So you're looking for 10, 20, 30, 40 and 10, 20, 30, 40, all going with the chest. That is one of my favorite things. I love a chest with the gold coins in. I just think it looks brilliant. So that's complete. So number 14, almost there now, is putting some of the minifigures and some of this stuff on. One thing to highlight on there, there's just a bit of a bite mark, and I suspect a little nick just out of the nose. So I was just making sure we had all the weapons. So there's supposed to be 4 of the swords, and so I was wondering where this one was going. So that goes in his hand there. Then you have 2 inside here, and then the other one is still in here from earlier, but it no longer shows in here. So you've only got 1, 3 showing, but there's actually supposed to be 4. So I've kept that one in there. Muskets, there's supposed to be 2. You know, the pistols. So there's 1 there and 1 there, and then there's supposed to be 2 of the the like the larger muskets. So you've got 1 just on here, and the other one goes in there. So I can just finish that off and give the captain his sword. And then the only thing I've got left over is this one, because these come on little things that you snap off. It uses one, so this is just a spare. Put that over there for now. In fact, two. I'll just put it to one side. So that's the build complete. All done. Oh, break the fourth wall a little bit by doing that, but there we go. So I think this is a great build. I really love that part when I put the roof on the stairs and the bridge, and it just suddenly came to life and gave it that height that you get from building up from a flat base and then coming up. So for what is quite simple in terms of a small kind of pillar here, just a very small amount of elevation there and reutilization of a mast, I think they've done quite well. Potentially a little bit higgledy-piggledy with some of the, like, how they've chosen to use this section and a ship's mast. But if you think about it, this is the Pirates' Forbidden Island, and so repurposing a mast is probably quite a nice idea. Ties it in with everything. So as we go around here, I think there is, there's plenty of detail, there's plenty of stuff going on. It's nice when you always get, as you know, with me, I always like it when you get more than one faction. So the fact that we have the soldier in there, and that we have the captain, a couple of pirates, and a shark, I think is great. In addition, you throw in a cannon, which is another one of my favourites. I think you've got lots. Oh, and the monkey and the parrot. So you've got lots of kind of stuff to play with, which is really nice. A couple of flags, so the pirate flags are always great. Let's see as we come around. In terms of movement, we've got the door at the front and the rear, perhaps a little bit lazy, just reproducing the like having it like that rather than building something else at the rear. You do have that trap door, so if our let's bring our bring the prisoner out. Yeah, okay. So bring our prisoner out. So the prisoners got on board. They're up here, and then we pull this, and obviously it's not automatically going to drop, but if you then push that down, he'll very reluctantly go down, kicking and screaming into the jail, and then we can reset with that. So yeah, actually it was quite tricky to do there. There's probably a bit of a knack, make sure his hands are up in the air screaming as he goes down. So maybe a touch lazy there. Nice to have the trapdoor, and probably nice positioning with the fact that it's at the end over there, so if someone came across the trapdoor, down they go. At the rear, obviously it's pretty much symmetrical. You just don't have at the minute the cannon and the other little bits placed at the front. And then so the only little area that it's kind of let down by is possibly just this area here, where it's a bit open, not too much going on here. Potentially a few more blocks would have been nice. But I don't know, am I splitting hairs for something of this many bricks but still this size? I'm not sure, especially when you get the boat and stuff. So I guess let's bring it onto the summary and you let me know what you think. I think what was a reasonably quick build with not a lot of bricks, they've done well to get that height. I'm 50-50 on the mast. I think on balance I like it because it ties in with the pirates. I love that you've got the variety of minifigures, plus you've got a pirate, a monkey, a shark, and then you've also got a boat, a cannon, a chest. Makes it a really nice utility piece. If let's say you've got a ship, so you could have a ship as another one, and you've still got the shark coming in and this, and you can attack it, or maybe it's the like one of the Imperial soldier ships. I think a touch lazy having the door on both sides. I like the utilization, although it's a little bit tricky with the trapdoor. And I just like the size and scale and the pop of the colours. So actually I think it's a pretty good set with only a small amount of room for improvement. So that was that. Yeah, it was the 6270 Forbidden Island. released in 1989, part of the pirate sets. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed building it, and if you did, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because it really helps me grow the channel. And until the next one, all the best, take care, and see you.